So hi guys, so for four out of the four applications I have chosen, I picked up a Node.js Express and MySQL REST API app. So I especially picked this because it has a two services, the applications as well as a database that needs to talk to each other. So that's where the Docker gets interesting, right? So let's dive in like and how we containerize these applications using a Docker best practices and also the Docker Compose where we run the multiple containers together. So let's quickly dive in like and so what are the Docker file and let's see each steps. So as like said, so I have chosen Node.js, the simple Node.js. This is a server like and so JS applications. So it just write like and it will run on server is running on a port like and 8080. So like this we need to dockerize it using a Docker file. So what I written is like I written a Docker files. So which sets the base image as node applications, which is an Alpine based images, which is of an around like a 5 MB, which is very small in size. So as a dependency, we are this is the stage one. So because we are setting this, we will be referenced in the next stages. So we are setting the work directories as slash app, and we are going to copy this packet.json, right? Packet both package as well as this thing and this both we are copying because we need to install the required dependencies for the applications to run. So and then we are going to run on npm CI. So in the second stage, we are going to set things up like in Docker hardened images because it's so Docker hardened images is the one that is having a free and open source, which is having a zero CVEs and no shell, and it will run as a non-root by default. So what I did was in the second step, I set as a Docker hardened images as a node based images, which is a final stage, and then we are going to set the working directory and like from the stage one, right? So after building this dependency, we have an node modules. So we're going to copy this node modules into this container inside the containers, and then we are going to copy the all the required codes and dependence all the required codes. I mean the application codes, and then we're going to expose this app as an 8080. So this is just documentation purpose that the applications will be running on 8080 as I said here, right? Port runs on 8080. So next coming to like we are going to start them using a node server.js. So this is just a Docker file, okay? So this Docker file is going to reference in the Docker compose file, okay? So this is my Docker compose file where I written this is so like and since we need like communication between this application is the database. First we'll write in services for the MySQL. We have chosen the MySQL 8.2 and like it's the container the MySQL DB. So even if the container crashes, then we set the restart policy as an unless stopped, okay? So then we like in that the on the NOS port that the container is running on port 3307. So we are going to a certain volume. This is a named volume MySQL data. So it will whatever the container will be written to here, it will be written to the host on like the data will be written to the whichever that is on the host machines. Okay. So and also like and then applications coming to an applications. So we are going to like and use then build images where the Docker file is present. So from this, the Docker compose file going to pick as a Docker file and we're going to build the images. So we are exposing the port on 8080 and then we set the environment for the applications that to connect the database. So this is the volumes part, like is where the asset like in this the named volume. So whenever the container crashes or something like that, the persistent data is like is persistence on an host machines. So this is the Docker compose files. As I said, like let's be as I already built an images using this command. Using this command, I have already built a Docker compose of python fn build -d. So it will run in and like can expose an app in the background. Okay. So let's check this. What are the applications which are running? We can see Node Express, JS app, and then MySQL. Okay. So both are these running and their applications is running and up and running. Now let me quickly test the applications. Okay. So whether it is running properly or not. So as I can see, we are calling them like in node backends. We are getting the messages, welcome to node applications. This is the simple node applications that we have written the messages here, okay? These are node applications. So during this, like the bug which I found was so on an host machines, I'm running the MySQL, okay, as a services, which is running on port 3006. So that's why what I did was, so I was able to change the port for containers. I mean on OS machines, I changed to run it on 3307. Okay. So apart from that, like this is the one thing that I messed up. So this is how like I can say I containerize these applications and like I can say it's working fine in my local. That's it guys. Thank you.